Hello, 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 beautiful people. It looks like my visuals and my audios are a little delayed. So I'm hoping that will get itself together pretty quickly. But I am excited to be back with you. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Gems for the Journey Live with Leah C. Murphy. We have been on this really evolutionary journey over the course of 2024, and we're going to carry that all the way through the end of the year. And then we have something really exciting and new that's going to be born in 2025, and it is going to refill our cups in a way that is super, super significant. But before I jump into that, because I have a story to tell, before I jump into that, welcome to everybody who has joined me up until now, who's been a part and riding with us for a long time, riding with the tribe. I love having you here. If you're joining me live, please do drop your city in the chat. As you drop your city in the chat, I know who's here, I know who I'm vibing with, and it gives me an opportunity to shout you out. If you don't want to drop your city in the chat, you can absolutely just drop a thumbs up just to let me know that you're here. I know some people are a little bit trying to fly a little bit under the radar, and I support that if that's what makes sense for you. And then also, if you're listening to this on the replay, please do comment your city in the chat. The replay has been doing amazing things. I absolutely love that for me, and I love it for you too, because we've gotten a lot of positive feedback about the replay, and we want to make sure we continue to give you a chance to tap into the LinkedIn Live message, even though you don't have the opportunity to or choose not to join us live. So excited for that. And I want to make sure that all of you know, take advantage of the Gems for the Journey newsletter, the Gems for the Journey newsletter, curated newsletter specifically for those who are interested in getting specific career advice, tailored book recommendations, blog access, all new information that's coming out on the Gems for the Journey full portfolio. It goes out in the newsletter first. And as many of you guys saw, the intro to the live has changed. It has evolved. And we are now focusing on our summit. And I was mentioning at the top that the summit is going to be the thing that is born the next year. It is our inaugural summit. And it's going to be what I am 100% sure is a magnificent experience for everyone who participates. And that's for participants and for our sponsors. So I'm going to get a little bit more deep into the summit information and planning and more details for where you can find it. I'm going to tell you that now at the top, and then we'll revisit again at the end. But you guys would have been able to see that on that opening, there was a QR code for you to be able to grab your ticket. It is a ticketed event. It's hosted in person in Philadelphia, PA at the Community College of Philadelphia, March 15th, 2025. We are I can't even announce all of the amazing things that are coming with the summit, but we have sponsors that are coming to partner with us. We have 100 women who are going to join us in the room to focus on the things that are most important, what we know are the cornerstones to meet the needs of women who are in their second act of life. That is a group of women who are 35 to 55. They're in that second act. They're planning for that next thing, that next phase, but we want to talk to you about what's best for you now. We want to invest in you now. We want to pour into you now. So the summit is built on the three cornerstones of career, community, and care. Career, community, and care for women who are in their second act of life. And we will have 100 powerhouse women from industries that are local to the Mid-Atlantic area, from Philadelphia, from the Pennsylvania area, New Jersey, Delaware. We're going all the way down to the DMV area and then all the way up to New York. So the tickets are available now. Take advantage and grab your tickets now. I don't want you to experience the FOMO that goes along with not being in this room. It is going to be fantastic. We are going to have everything from health and wellness. We're going to cover all those three areas in one place. I've heard from so many different women, so many different individuals that I want to get better in this area. I want more professional development. I do want to build a community, or I do want to focus on my health, but I don't have time to source all of those things independently. I don't have time to find an organization or a group that is doing all of those things, and I'm not seeing anybody offer all of them in one place until now. All of those things will be offered in one place. We will talk about career. You guys know we're deep in the career bucket here. We know how important it is to make sure that you're getting that professional development and getting the support that you need for your career. And we also know just how important it is to have a community of like-minded individuals who are not competing with you, but collaborating with you and helping to push you forward, because we know that collaboration over competition is how we will win as women. And then that aspect of care, the care for yourself, the care for your body, the care for your mind, the care for your basic needs, and thinking about what that looks like as we are in this sandwich generation oftentimes. And what's a sandwich generation? We talk about that second act, which is women 35 to 55. Those women tend to be partners. If they've chosen, they tend to be taking care of a loved one, potentially, maybe an aging parent, maybe a different relative. Maybe they have children that are school age, or maybe they have children who are transitioning into college. Some of those women are also very much community leaders, right? They are mothers or aunties or collaborators on other lives and support systems that requires them to be the best version of themselves. So when we think about these women, they have a lot of demands on them. There are pulls all over their life. And we want to make sure that we pour into them such that they are allowing all of these other things to operate from their overflow and not to their depletion. So as we think about this career, community, and care for women in their second act of life, we know the Gems for the Journey Summit is going to play a really valuable role for those women who choose to be in the room. And we want you to be there if you want to be there. So tickets are on sale. They're available on our website at gemsforthejourney.org/events. So head over to the page to go grab your ticket today. We're also going to offer scholarships to some single mothers. It was on my heart to make sure that cost was not a barrier for individuals being able to participate in this summit. So we're going to offer a few scholarships to women who are interested in participating, but may not have the means at the time to be able to participate. So if you can't go and you can't join us in person, you can buy a ticket and then acknowledge in the notes when you purchase your ticket that you want it to go as a scholarship or a sponsorship to another woman who can join us in person, but may not have the budget to be able to do it. It was on my heart to do. It was the right thing, but it also was, there's a tremendous value to bringing a range of people into the room. And I want the folks who join us for the summit to be able to benefit from it tremendously, because we believe there's so much value, but also to contribute to the summit in a really significant way. So I want to tell you guys just a quick story as we think about what we're bringing to life in 2025. And the Gems for the Journey Summit is a big part of it. And this is a hot take, and it's going to feel like a contrarian approach. It is going to be an unpopular opinion. But I'm speaking from a place of my own experience, as well as experience I've seen with many, many, many clients as we navigate their definition of success. So the first part is staying quiet about your aspirations, your dreams, the things you want for your life, honestly, is a form of self-sabotage. I'm going to say that again. Staying quiet about your aspirations, your dreams, your goals, the things that you want for your own life, the things that you want to create. Staying quiet about those things is a form of self-sabotage. And oftentimes that self-sabotage is rooted in fear. It's rooted in fear of somebody stealing your idea. It's rooted in fear of what are people going to say, because it might be challenging the status quo. It's fear of maybe I'm alone in this thought and feeling, and I don't want to be alone. And I don't want to let anybody know that I'm any different from them. So I experienced this myself. So I know for a fact that self-sabotage can be an underlying cause that we don't even realize is holding us back from sharing our aspirations and goals with other people. I'm going to give you guys a serious equivalent and then an unserious equivalent to that. So I'm going to start with the unserious equivalent. Unserious equivalent is something simple that I know many, 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 many of us can relate to. Many of us have gone into a hair salon and said, we want a specific style. We want a thing. We want an outcome for our hair. And we go in there and, especially Black women, we know how important our hair is. We know how it aligns for us. A lot of times it tells a story or expresses some form of our own style or culture. So it means a lot. We've gone into a hair salon and said, I want this as an outcome. And then we get towards the process, towards the end, and we start seeing that it's not quite what we wanted, but we stay quiet. We don't say anything. We don't want to upset the stylist. We don't want to be difficult. We don't want to share what we're dealing with. Has this ever happened to you? It's definitely happened to me. And when I think about those disappointments, you end up going home after paying for a style that you didn't want, you don't like, going home upset the whole ride, right? However it is you're getting home, and then going to your own bathroom or going to your mirror and trying to figure out, how can I make this work? Or I can't make it work and I'm going to take it out immediately, or I'm just going to wash my hair and start over. I'm going to do it myself. I'm going to book an appointment with another stylist. It's happened to me more times than I care to admit, and I know that it's happened to others. That's an example of how staying quiet about your own aspirations and your desires is just a form of self-sabotage, because what you've done in that instance is just not give yourself an opportunity to have the desires that you want. You haven't given yourself a chance to speak up for yourself and feel like you have the right to advocate for yourself. You've also flat out wasted your money and your time. And then if I take it a step further and I think about it from the stylist perspective, for a fact you're never going back there because you're disappointed with the outcome and you're embarrassed to tell them that you were disappointed with the outcome if you're like me. And maybe nobody's like me out there. Maybe I'm the only one who had a hard time overcoming this, like, oh, well, I don't want to become a problem. I don't want to be difficult. But I'm stifling my own aspirations. I am staying quiet about the aspirations and what I want. And for a stylist, that means that they've lost a client. And that means that there's no potential for a long-term relationship or a partnership to be built with that stylist, which is how they make money. It's how they run their business. So it's a lose-lose all the way around. And it doesn't mean that some people aren't difficult to have these conversations with. It doesn't mean that sharing your aspirations won't be uncomfortable, and it might offend some people, or it might make them, disappointed or express some form of concern. But ultimately, the benefit in having the conversation means that at least you're on the same page, and at least you had a chance to be able to get closer to what you want. If you stay quiet about your aspirations, your goals, or your needs, there's no chance of you getting what you want. Failure is imminent. Failure is inevitable. And you're going home looking less than your best. I don't want that for you. I don't want it for me. So when I talk about staying quiet about your aspirations is a form of self-sabotage, that's the example that I feel like is the most relatable. And I want to get us to a place where we can start to work on advocating and using our voice about our aspirations. And even when it's not a problem, but just talking about our aspirations and sharing them with people that we trust, sharing them with people that we have good relationships with, and sharing them sometimes maybe not just with your partner or your best friend or, your favorite homegirl, sharing them with other people in your network. And the reason why I think that's so important, and again, this is my own lived experience, is once you start to share those dreams and aspirations with people, you have now planted a seed for a potential that they will support you in those aspirations. You've also, given them a chance to be exposed to your vulnerability. And that's real. And I know that a lot of us may be guarded against it, but that potential for partnership, that potential for support is greater oftentimes than the potential for sabotage. Because that sabotage, if that's the case, you would have identified them as that kind of person before sharing your dreams. And it would have been your due diligence to remove them from your life at that point or not opt in. So that's why it's about choosing people that you trust to share your aspirations with. And the story that I have about that is, as I think about my own entrepreneurial experience, and I just put a post out earlier this week on LinkedIn and on social media, on Instagram, about celebrating 3 years of entrepreneurship. So for 3 years, I have been a full-time entrepreneur working for myself. and navigating these entrepreneur streets. And as Lovey Ajayi says, entrepreneurship has hands. She comes for you. She's not playing any games. It is not all grandeur the way it may seem. But it also has provided me some learning and some growth opportunities that I 100% would have never gotten had I not pursued. And I think it's still the right path for me. As I navigated entrepreneurship and all of the highs and lows and ups and downs and pivots that go along with the business and pivots that go along with sourcing clients, what I realized was I had to design a life for myself that integrated fulfillment in my work. I had to design a life that allowed me to work and do things that were challenging for me because I'm a learner and I enjoy being in a space where I get to support and collaborate with clients and solve difficult problems. I sincerely enjoy that. So becoming an entrepreneur gave me a chance to redesign my life and the work that I do and how I go about that work. So when I talk about being an entrepreneur and introducing that idea to other people, it made a lot of people uncomfortable. There's no shade to people who are still navigating corporate America, nonprofit leadership, academia, or, civil service. I love that for you. And a lot of you guys are the people that I seek to serve because I want you to have the definition of success that works for you. And I want to make sure that I get a chance to be able to support you and collaborate with you to get you to your goals. So I absolutely love that for you. But telling people that I was leaving corporate America made a lot of people uncomfortable. And there was some resistance. There was some friction. There was, what are you going to do? Are you going to be able to survive? How are you going to make it work? But then there were some people who were down to support me from the very, very beginning. Some people who were so excited and thrilled to be able to jump in and offer a hand or offer support or introduce me to the right people and build relationships. And if I had stayed silent about that aspiration, those partnerships could have never happened. So staying silent is the form of self-sabotage because you are holding back your own desires from potentially being realized, but you're also holding back the opportunity to build a network of people that will help you to meet those goals and aspirations and desires. And only you can be your own best advocate in those conversations. So when I think about staying quiet about aspirations, regardless of what it is for you, whether it's in your day job, whether it's in the nonprofit leadership realm, whether it's in something new, a brand new thing that you're desiring, staying quiet about your aspirations is almost guaranteed to get you no further than you are today. But to share and to acknowledge your aspirations and those greatest desires, it's fulfilling a promise to yourself, but it's also allowing other people to help you get to that aspiration. And that promise to yourself is a big deal. That promise to yourself matters more than anything because that's the reason why we can be in the right mindset. That's the reason why we can stay in our right mind because we keep promises to ourselves. We have a healthy relationship with ourselves, and then that allows us to build relationships and collaborate with other people and to grow in that way. So even if you only share your aspirations in order to keep a promise to yourself so that there's a chance for that vision, that idea, that experience, that career, that thing that is important to you to come to life, that's a reason enough to share your aspirations so that you don't self-sabotage the promise you should be keeping to yourself. And when I think about the life redesign element that I thought was absolutely necessary, you guys will also see something coming up shortly. Recently, my 13-year-old daughter, my newly 13-year-old daughter, had a birthday. And for her birthday, she said she wanted to have an exclusive day with just her parents, just her mom and her dad. We have, 2 younger sons. And she was like, can we leave my little brothers with grandmom and granddad? And then can we do something just the 3 of us together? And first, it warmed my heart, absolutely, that she wanted to spend time with me and Cameron, who's her dad, my husband, who you guys know, because we did the husband takeover recently. The fact that she wanted that, but then also the fact that we could create experiences for her 13th birthday that would absolutely stay with her forever. And it required a lot of work. There was some hoop jumping. There was some logistics that we had to navigate. We spent 36 hours together uninterrupted, and 10 of those hours were in a car. So 10 of those hours were taking her to the destination that she wanted to go to have the experience that she wanted. And we had to road trip in order to get there. And there were all of these things that were stacked up. And as tiring as that was, the redesign of my life allowed for that to happen. And to be able to create those kinds of experiences with my oldest child and my husband is just everlasting memories. And I can't ask for more than that. And it was an example of her acknowledging what her aspirations were and sharing them with us. Mom and Dad, this is what I want to do. This is where I want to go. Do you think this is possible? Can we make this happen? And we were able to make it happen. Now, I understand we're privileged, right? As parents, we're fortunate to be in a position to do the things that my daughter asked for. There were some things she asked for that we couldn't do, but we're fortunate in a position to meet some of those aspirations and treat her as she deserved to be treated, as a 13-year-old young woman who is, otherwise blossoming and doing really well. So her acknowledging her own aspirations and saying what she really wanted is how it happened. If you don't share, if you're not allowing other people to be informed, especially people that you trust, people that you love, people that you know love you, if you're not sharing those aspirations with those people, then there's just no way. There's just no way for it to happen for you. So I want to encourage all of us to be loud about our aspirations, about our goals. And even if you have to be loud with a small group of people that you trust, be loud and honest and authentic about our goals and aspirations so that the opportunity can rise to meet you. There are so many examples of when we don't do it and we're disappointed and we're living in the what if and we're living in the regret. And oftentimes that's the beginning of us recognizing we're not keeping promises to ourselves, and that hurts our relationship with ourselves. And I want to encourage all of us to be invested in a relationship with ourselves first, and that going well, and being our own biggest cheerleader first. And then other people can get on board to help you to get to where you want to be. So I am really, really, really excited about what's to come. We will start to have announcements for the speakers for the summit. We have our first speaker signed on. We have not our first speaker. We're up to 6 speakers signed on, and I'm over the moon excited. I am trying to hold back. My team has been working diligently in the background. You guys will start to see those posts. I'm going to make that announcement the next time we're together live. So you have to come back. Join me next Tuesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to hear more about the lineup for the summit and the sponsors who are partnering with us for the summit. You are not going to want to miss it. So take advantage of the opportunity. Join us March 13th, 2025. Grab your ticket today. We are going to have a phenomenal experience centered on career, community, and care for women in their second act of life. And if you can't join us in person, buy a ticket to sponsor another woman to be able to attend. It is going to be a game changer. We're going to talk about being loud about our aspirations even in more detail during the summit. And I'm going to share more of my own personal story and some client examples of just how important it is and how it's manifested in a significant way in their lives and careers. So I'm telling you, it's going to be amazing. You don't want to experience the FOMO that is going to come along with not being in the room. So join us March 15th, 2025, and we will see you at the summit, but we'll see you next Tuesday as we start to leak out a slow drip of our speakers who are going to join us and create a transformational experience for you in the room, real time, with 99 other women, because I'm going to be in the room. So looking forward to seeing you all there. And in the meantime, make your journey work for you. I appreciate you riding with us. Take care.